Committee on the Judiciary is introducing 2 articles of impeachment charging the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Democrats in the House announced articles of impeachment against the president. The historic move made on the same day the president is set to visit Pennsylvania. And Vice President Mike Pence is in our area to drum up support. Pence just wrapped up a speech in Beaver County where he briefly addressed the impeachment.
And what's happening in Washington, D.C. today is a disgrace. It is. It's nothing short of a partisan impeachment.
More on his visit in just a moment. First, the House has announced 2 articles of impeachment: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. NBC's Susan McGinnis breaks down what's next.
For only the 4th time in U.S. history, the House of Representatives proceeds with formal articles of impeachment against a sitting president.
Our president holds the ultimate public trust. When he betrays that trust and puts himself before country, he endangers the Constitution, he endangers our democracy, and he endangers our national security.
After months of testimony from dozens of witnesses, Democrats concluding when the president pressured Ukraine to dig up dirt on rival Joe Biden while holding millions in aid captive, he abused the power of his office.
If allowed to stand, it would decimate Congress's ability to conduct oversight of this president or any other in the future.
Investigators also finding he obstructed Congress in blocking requested documents and instructing White House staff to defy congressional subpoenas to appear.
You made a ruling on the point of order.
The bitter partisan divide on full display at Monday's House Judiciary Committee hearing. Republicans decrying the process as a baseless sham. The articles announced the same day as President Trump meets with Russia's foreign minister. The president tweeting, to impeach a president who has produced perhaps the strongest economy in our country's history and done nothing wrong is political madness. The Judiciary Committee will likely vote on the articles Thursday, setting the stage for a vote by the full House next week. The White House says it's already preparing for a Senate trial and plans to participate. Expect more of the president's reaction at a rally tonight in Hershey, Pennsylvania. In Washington, Susan McGinnis, NBC News.
And she mentioned the president's rally tonight. The vice president also in Pennsylvania. Vice President Mike Pence in Beaver County right now. Later today, he will join President Trump for that rally in Hershey. About 250 people were on hand this morning in Rochester as Vice President Pence spoke at VFW Post 128. For the most part, he stayed away from impeachment talk. This is part of a planned bus tour of Pennsylvania, which is considered a battleground state in the 2020 election.
But I want to tell you, I'm here for one reason and one reason only, and that is that Pennsylvania and America need 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House.
We're told Pence is also stopping at an undisclosed location to meet with local voters. Channel 11 expects to be doing a one-on-one interview with the vice president at any time. Look for that tonight on Channel 11 News starting at 5. And more details now. 6 Democratic presidential candidates will be in Pittsburgh this weekend. On Saturday, they'll take part in an education forum hosted by advocacy groups and local unions. You can watch it on NBC streaming channels. More breaking news now. Firefighters on the scene of a fire in Carnegie at what appears to be a rather notable home. According to Zillow, this home was built for legendary Hall of Famer Honus Wagner back in 1917, and he lived there until his death in 1955. And when we pulled up, heavy smoke was pouring from the house on Beechwood Avenue. Police at the scene told us this started with a dryer fire that spread through the walls. Everyone got out okay, and the Salvation Army is there to help them. Pittsburgh police are looking for a 12-year-old girl who hasn't been seen since she left school yesterday. This is Sanaya Gates. Police say that she's 5'4" and weighs about 160 pounds. Gates is from the Hill District and goes to school at South Hills Middle. She was last seen at school on Monday. A Morningside woman has been found safe. Beatrice Staff left her house on Chislett Street last night around 8 o'clock. The 83-year-old was found on Jancy Street this morning. Police say she fell. She was alert when she was taken to the hospital to get checked out. Chemical concerns in Coraopolis. A new report by the state found drinking water there has among the highest levels of PFAS in the state. PFAS are man-made and can pose a serious health risk. But officials in Coraopolis say there's no reason to worry. Channel 11's Mike Holden joins us live to explain why. Mike?
Gordon, good afternoon to you. Coraopolis officials stress the water is safe. It is not contaminated. You are good to go, so don't stress out about this. But after talking with several folks in this community, they're saying just hearing about this news has them reaching for bottled water just like this. Now, the Coraopolis Water and Sewer Authority is clearing the air when it comes to the quality of their water and chemicals inside it. They're talking all about those PFAS that Gordon just mentioned. Those chemicals, also known as forever chemicals, are typically found in dental floss, firefighting foam, and other home products. The EPA reports the chemicals in Coraopolis' drinking water are among some of the highest levels in the state. However, they're still below the federal health advisory level, topping out at 12.9 parts per trillion. Coraopolis officials say that is significantly less than the federal standard, which would be equal to 1 drop of food coloring and 18 million gallons of water. They stress they are monitoring the advisory levels around the clock, and there is no need to panic or stop using their water.
Coraopolis Water and Sewer Authority Board has approved a plan many months ago to put in carbon filtration, which is the treatment option. Should this get to be worse, we would have that in place anyhow.
I just don't trust it. I don't like it. I don't like the taste of it. It tastes like a lot of chlorine to me, but that's just me.
And regardless, some people are still drinking it. We do want to stress there's no health issue at this point. They are monitoring this situation, and the water here in Coraopolis is not contaminated. But coming up on Channel 11 News at 5, we're taking a closer look at this case, plus what officials in town are doing to make sure that you will remain safe moving forward. Reporting live in Coraopolis this afternoon, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
Falling temperatures through the afternoon in parts of our area may see some snow. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier is tracking the changes right now in Severe Weather Center 11.
Yeah, so we have a rain-snow mix that's going to happen for our southeastern communities this afternoon. In fact, we're already starting to see that. But let's talk about a record that was broken yesterday. First, we picked up 0.88 inches of rain here in Pittsburgh. That beat the previous record of 0.85 inches from 2009. So it was certainly a wet day for us across the area. Outside right now, a live look over downtown. It's cloudy. We have 38 degrees with a wind chill at 30, so you'll need to have that winter coat on. Here's Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. The moisture basically from Indiana all the way down to the south through the ridges, and that green color is where we have that rain falling. Where you're seeing some of this purple and pink color, that's the radar trying to decipher what we're seeing. It is definitely a wintry mix, though, of either rain or snow, maybe even a little bit of sleet mixed in. But you can see this is mainly for the ridges out through Fayette and Westmoreland counties, and that'll be the better area where we see that chance for rain-snow mix through this afternoon. Here in our area, we are looking at a really cold night ahead. I want to show you what the temperatures are looking like as you head out the door Wednesday morning. I'll do that coming up in about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Danielle. A bus driver attacked and new at noon. Port Authority police say they were able to ID the suspect seen here and take him into custody. Police say he punched the Pat bus driver Sunday as he was getting off near Liberty Avenue. He boarded the bus at the Homewood station. No word yet on the motive behind the attack. The trial for a woman accused of shooting a man in Spring Hill is now underway. Judith White is on trial for attempted homicide for the shooting along Rhine Street in August. She claims it was self-defense. The suspect told police that the victim approached her. Then she says he threatened to kill her, spit on her, and threw something at her. So she defended herself and fired a shot. A drug bust in an apartment building just a couple blocks from a school. This happened at an apartment building on Butler Street in Lawrenceville last week. Police say they found all of this inside: 3,000 bags of heroin, crack cocaine, stolen guns, and more. Daryl Williams and Marzell Baskins are facing several charges tonight, including endangering the welfare of children. That's because investigators say 2 children were in the apartment, but they left just before the raid.
He captured my heart, and he's in my heart forever.
Only 11 spoke to the Good Samaritan, who found a toddler wandering the streets of a Beaver County community. We first told you Friday when the 2-year-old walked out of his daycare center unnoticed. John Stahl says he'll always have a special connection now with 2-year-old Landon Shute. Last week, Stahl saw the boy all alone, only wearing a shirt and pants as he wandered off from a daycare in Monaca. Landon has autism, and Stahl says he was unable to get any information from the little boy.
Well, I was panicking inside. I'm thinking he's only 20, 30 yards from that major road, and if he steps out in front of a car, then we would have had a real disaster.
I can't even put it to words how truly thankful we are.
He dropped the boy off at the police station. His parents were back there yesterday to thank Stahl for saving their little boy. No answers for the 7 suspended members of the Latrobe Fire Department. According to our partners at the Trib, the firefighters say they don't know why they were suspended or for how long, so they took their questions to City Council.
So 7 members are suspended without cause, without a reason, and no one, the fire department included, can tell me why, or those 6 members that are suspended. Something just doesn't seem right here.
Council members say the decision came from the fire department's executive board. The city and the fire chief would not comment on the matter. The mayor says public safety is not at risk during the suspensions.
She had one of those tiles covered her whole entire body on top of her.
A baby hurt when a ceiling collapsed above her. Why her parents feared this could happen. And a life or death test for Megan's Law in Pennsylvania, the decisions that could allow violent predators to go unmonitored.
I'll let you know how cold it's getting tonight, and it's cloudy out there right now. When we'll finally see some sunshine.
Of course, if I would have come home earlier, he could have been in the house.
A burglar ransacked their home, and police say one home wasn't enough. How a teenager stopped the crime spree.
You're streaming WPXI now, your source for original local shows, Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, and more. The hottest Pittsburgh sports topics with even hotter opinions. Halftime adjustments. Wednesday nights at 7:30 on WPXI. Watch Channel 11 News and other local programming on your Apple TV, Roku, or Amazon Fire TV. Local news, breaking news, and your Severe Weather Team 11 forecast. Free on demand. Download the WPXI app. Just search WPXI. Watch David Johnson and Lisa Sylvester on Channel 11 News 11 at 11.
The biggest fear of my life came true.
Their baby girl is in a neck brace after a ceiling collapsed on top of her. The couple says they told their landlord about the ceiling back in October, and as you can see, the debris is scattered all over the ground here. Channel 11's Gabriella DeLuca has more on how the baby is doing and got the landlord's response.
It came crashing down on us, and the biggest fear of my life came true.
These pictures show the terrifying aftermath of a bathroom ceiling collapsing on 3-month-old Sophia Wolf. It happened at her parents' apartment in Bellevue over the weekend.
I saw my baby girl, the love of my life, my first child, being tumbled with layers of tile and metal brackets and a lighting fixture that probably weighed 10 pounds coming crashing down.
Isaiah Wolf and his fiancée, Kaylee Jones, tell Channel 11 they alerted their landlord to the drooping ceiling almost 2 months ago, but it hadn't been fixed. When we talked to the landlord over the phone, He told us a maintenance person went to inspect it, but assessed that the ceiling was stable.
You can't put a price on somebody's life. That is my daughter. She could have just died.
The baby girl was rushed to the emergency room and immediately put into a neck brace and given x-rays and tests.
Somehow she ended up with a couple bruises and cuts underneath her eye. You know, she was bleeding a little bit, and a couple bruises on her chest. Luckily, that's all it was.
We reached out to Bellevue's Code Enforcement Office to see if they're investigating this, and we're still waiting to hear back from them. An ambulance hit by a truck while responding to a crash. Crews were responding to an overturned big rig on the Parkway North near the 79 interchange when the ambulance was hit. You can see the damage there. First responders had minor injuries. They actually got out to help the trucker who was trapped inside. Everyone involved is expected to be okay. A man handcuffed and put into the back of a police cruiser, but that didn't stop him. He managed to drive off in the cruiser. Police just north of Youngstown arrested the man last week on a disorderly charge. They cuffed him and they put him in the back of the cruiser, but the suspect got his arms free. You can see in this video, he was able to open the divider between the front and back seats, hit the gas, but he didn't get too far. He crashed right in the parking lot. The police chief believes that drugs were involved.
It was like dealing with someone that had superhuman strength, so they're still researching exactly at the hospital what he may have been on. They're running all kind of tests.
The chief says he doesn't think his officers did anything wrong, but he'll review the case to make sure it doesn't happen again. Help is on the way for 100 workers recently laid off by the Elwood City Medical Center. There will be a job fair this Friday. It's being held at the Elwood City Borough Building Auditorium. It starts at 2 o'clock. Channel 11 told you last week when the hospital's ER and inpatient facilities shut down. Thousands of wreaths are being loaded onto trucks as part of Wreaths Across America. The wreaths are headed to Arlington National Cemetery to be laid on the graves of fallen soldiers. The trucks make several stops along the way as local towns honor the fallen.
To be with these families when they can place those wreaths and say that name, there's a feeling like no other.
The program started back in 1992. Now memorial wreaths are laid at more than 1,000 locations in the U.S. and beyond. Federal regulators say drug-impaired driving is on the rise, and whether drivers are using marijuana or other drugs, officials want to keep everyone safe. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is launching a national campaign this week. It's warning drivers against using drugs and getting behind the wheel.
If you're using prescription drugs and your pill bottle says don't operate heavy machinery, that includes your 4,000-pound car. Also, if you're using marijuana or some other drug, those also impair you.
Safety officials say marijuana users have tried to make the case that the drug makes them better, more focused drivers, but they say research shows marijuana can be just as impairing as alcohol. There is a new E. coli outbreak. This one is linked to Fresh Express Sunflower Crisp chopped salad kits. According to the FDA and CDC, the outbreak has sickened 8 people in 3 states. No deaths have been reported, but 3 people have been admitted to hospitals, including one who developed a type of kidney failure. The salad kits in question have a best before date up to and including December 7th. New at noon, there has been a dramatic increase in health insurance claims for Lyme disease. Researchers looked at over 29 billion private health care claim records from 2007 to 2018, and they found diagnosis of Lyme disease increased 117% during that time period. The past few years, Pennsylvania has had the highest number of Lyme disease cases in the country.
Your severe weather Teen 11 forecast.
Good afternoon. Here's a look at our weather impacts for the day today. We're going to have falling temperatures, breezy winds, and rain, snow to our southeast. Here's a look at our 24-hour temperature change. Pittsburgh running 11 degrees colder than this time yesterday. 14 degrees colder in Beaver, 12 degrees colder in Butler. Those temperatures continue to fall. We've had an Arctic cold front move in early this morning. Check it out. Look at that really cold air. Bismarck at -5, Green Bay, Wisconsin at 11, and that cold air will continue to come into our area from that direction. So we're looking at a really cold night tonight. I'll show you that coming up in a minute. Temperatures out there right now, 38 in Pittsburgh. That's down from the mid to upper 40s we had out there early this morning. Still hanging on to the 40s, though, in Greensburg at 43, 37 degrees in Washington. Winds are still breezy. They're gusting up to 21 in Pittsburgh, 17 in Greensburg, and 20 in Butler. So if you are heading out, of course, we do have a wind chill factor because the temperatures are cold, and then we have the winds on top of that. So when you factor that in, feels like 30 in Pittsburgh right now, 27 it feels like in Beaver, and 26 in Butler. So break out those winter coats if you haven't already. Our temperature forecast for the rest of this evening, the numbers 33 by 6 p.m., 31 at 8, and then overnight tonight will be falling into the upper 20s through midnight and 2 a.m. Overnight tonight, we're looking at near 20 degrees in Pittsburgh, 19 in Butler. So this is quite the change from the 40s we've had out there this morning and last couple of mornings. Look at the lows here in Indiana, Greensburg, and Uniontown, also down in the lower 20s and could possibly dip down into the teens in some of those rural outlying areas. In Butler, about 19 for you. If you're out and about doing some shopping for the holiday season, for the day tomorrow, we're going to start with a mostly clear sky at 7 o'clock. But again, it's cold, 20 degrees. Sunshine at noon with 29. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds tomorrow afternoon, looking like a pretty nice day overall, with that temperature up to only freezing. Yes, only 32 degrees on Wednesday. Again, today we are expecting falling temperatures, so about where they are right now will continue to fall down to 20 overnight, 32 for the day Wednesday. Check out Wednesday night, 17. So when you head out the door, really bitter cold. By Thursday afternoon, it's sun and clouds, 36. Friday, weather system is going to be approaching from our south. It's going to be increasing the clouds across the area, and we'll have a chance for some showers developing in the evening. Closer look at your weekend always in view. Milder, of course, comparatively speaking, on Saturday, 47. We'll take a closer look at the end of the week weekend storm system, as well as what your wind chill forecast is looking like for the day tomorrow, because we're going to have another breezy day on Wednesday, all coming up in the next half hour.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Helping people in heart failure live longer, better lives. How a drug used to treat diabetes could do double duty. And online shopping is on the rise, and front door thieves are seizing the day. How one sheriff's department is stopping porch pirates.
Hey, Pittsburgh, I found some great deals for you, and you're going to love them. But don't be that person that misses out. Text WPXI to 65,000 now.
More than 500 turkeys given away for free to families in need. A local sheriff's department and a group of volunteers provide a Thanksgiving meal every year to those who can't afford it.
It means a lot to us, too, that, hey, we can help somebody out in need.
It's a blessing. Giving a holiday boost to families in need makes us proud to be from Pittsburgh.
Proud to be from Pittsburgh. Brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Great cars, great people. For a great deal on a Honda, visit Shop Honda. Stephen Cropper, tracking the weather in your neighborhood.
Online shopping numbers are up, and that's giving thieves more opportunities. Once those packages get to where they're going, porch pirates are stealing them. With package theft on the rise, one police department is fighting back. NBC's Jolene Kent went along as they set their traps.
Across the country, it's the season of giving and taking. Thieves caught on camera pilfering packages. This one tripping over a 65-inch TV as he tried to get away.
I just don't want people's stuff stolen over the holidays.
The rampant theft has the Sheriff's Department in Washington County, Oregon, going on offense.
Where is this item?
Detective Patrick Altier and his team are planting bait packages on front steps to catch culprits and deter potential criminals.
We're trying to keep everyone's holiday season happy.
Here's how it works. They put an item into a cardboard box along with a sensor, leave it on a volunteer's porch, and wait for an alert.
Once the package is picked up, police use a combination of GPS, cell phone signal, even radio frequency to track it down. How effective is the program so far?
We noticed about a 10 to 20% decrease in our thefts.
The Sheriff's Department also recommends sending your orders to secure locations. For example, have it delivered on a day you're home. Send it to the neighbor. Use in-store pickup or an Amazon locker, or get it delivered to work.
Anything but letting it just sit on your porch for hours. That's the best advice I can give.
And if all else fails, maybe just go shopping in person. Jolene Kent, NBC News, Hillsboro, Oregon.
A burglar broke into a local family's home and ransacked the place.
Of course, if I would have come home earlier, he could have been in the house.
Police say one house wasn't enough for the burglar. How a teenager stopped that crime spree.
Breezy today and tomorrow. I'm going to let you know what the wind forecast is and how cold it will feel throughout the day.
Channel 11 covers weather everywhere you live.
And we have the experience to get it right. We know the unique weather patterns across our neighborhood. It's why it can be snowing in Beaver County,
while it's dry in Westmoreland County.
Weather coverage you can count on.
tablet this holiday season? Download the WPXI apps for free. Local news, breaking news, and your Severe Weather Team 11 forecast. Available now on the App Store and on Google Play. Just search WPXI. The 7-day forecast, now on your screen all the time on Channel 11 News.
If I would have known earlier, he could have been in the house.
Their home ransacked after someone broke through the window. Police say this guy did the same thing to 2 of their neighbors on the same day. This suspect just got out of state prison less than 2 months ago for similar crimes. Channel 11's Kara Sapida found out how police say a teenager brought this latest crime spree to an end.
He went from house to house to house.
This back window to Joe Shashura's home was broken out Friday night by a man who police call a serial burglar.
He grabbed our pillowcase and he filled it with all the jewelry that's in there and anything he could find, cash, money, and all that. And
police say 39-year-old Adam Morgan burglarized multiple homes on Route 40 in Redstone Township that night until he broke into one house and came face to face with an armed teenager. Neighbors praising that teen, saying he acted fast after his dogs alerted him.
The dog saved his life. They barked. He had headphones on, I guess, so with his back facing the door.
According to the criminal complaint, the teenager called 911 and said he shot an intruder who tried to rob his house, saying he shot him twice and that he was home alone. He said one of his guns jammed, so he grabbed another gun. Both of them belonged to his father. Police followed the trail of blood to a cemetery where they found Morgan unconscious with a cell phone, screwdriver, and pillowcase full of stolen items by his side.
I'm just thankful that everybody's okay and he's where he belongs right now.
Kara Sapida, Channel 11 News.
Police say that pillowcase was filled with jewelry, money, and even a pink piggy bank. At last check, the suspect was still in the hospital recovering from 2 bullet wounds. Looks like it'll be another breezy day tomorrow. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier is tracking what it will feel like as you head out the door.
Yeah, so gusty again. We can't seem to shake the wind, and when you factor in the wind to the air temperature, it's going to feel even colder once again tomorrow. So looking ahead into the wind forecast, wanted to let you know the winds out there early will be on the lighter side of things, comparatively speaking. Today we're having gusts up to about 30 miles per hour, just to put it in perspective. Let me animate the clock, and you'll see as we head into the afternoon tomorrow, those winds once again pick up. So anywhere from about 10 to 20 miles per hour with higher gusts to 25 are expected for the day Wednesday. And when you factor in that wind to the air temperature, because the air temperature is right near 20 tomorrow morning, any wind, albeit light or even a little bit breezy, will make it feel colder. So you can see the wind chills out there right around 14 here in the Pittsburgh area. And then, of course, as temperatures warm close to freezing tomorrow, the wind chills will also go up a little bit, but it'll still feel like the upper teens to low 20s through the afternoon tomorrow because of those strong winds. So we're in for another very cold day tomorrow, and unseasonably cold at that. I'm going to let you know, though, that we have a warm-up in the forecast. I'll show you that and when our next rainmaker will arrive coming up. Gordon?
Thanks, Danielle. Police are looking for 2 men who robbed a taxi driver. Take a look at these surveillance pictures that show a gun pointed at the head of the driver. This happened early Monday in Johnstown. The driver gave up cash and his keys, and the robbers took off. It's a life or death test for Megan's Law in Pennsylvania. The state Supreme Court will soon hear 5 cases that could erase the sex offender registry as we know it and potentially allow violent predators to go unaccounted for. Megan's Law was put in place 25 years ago as a sex offender registry. Today, there are thousands of names on the list. The 5 cases before the Supreme Court challenged the constitutionality of the law. Local defense attorney Blaine Jones says there are arguments to be made against the registry, but he believes the court will keep it in place.
In the law, we balance things to see whether or not there's a public purpose or if that public purpose is simply not good enough. And I think the public purpose here, which is public safety, will be good enough.
Challenges to the law are nothing new. The state Supreme Court overturned portions of the law 3 times already. Justices are expected to start ruling on the current cases early next year. Activists are pushing to have a voice in budget talks. Economic justice groups held a public hearing on Pittsburgh's proposed budget. They say the public should be included in setting priorities and that the city needs to invest in marginalized communities.
We're saying you can't hide this anymore. We're smart enough and we are wise enough and we have joined forces and we come in to understand how our tax dollars are being spent.
The activists say they're especially concerned about affordable housing. Mayor Bill Peduto is in Spain for an international conference on climate change. You may remember when President Donald Trump withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement, Peduto announced Pittsburgh would still follow it. Many youth climate activists, including internationally known Swedish activist Greta Thunberg, showed up to that conference to demand action. They especially want leaders to involve indigenous communities in combating climate change.
It is so incredibly important that we listen to indigenous people because they are suffering and their rights are being violated across the world.
A study published last week predicts that unchecked climate change could devastate fishery industries and coral reef tourism. A hero who inspired so many has died. Pete Frates helped make the Ice Bucket Challenge a worldwide sensation. He passed away yesterday after battling ALS. He was just 34. NBC's Kate Snow has more on the legacy that lives on.
Pete Frates was an athlete.
Home run for Peter Frates!
Then at 27, devastating news.
I was recently diagnosed with ALS.
His parents say he never complained. He wanted to raise awareness while having some fun, and so the Ice Bucket Challenge.
This thing catches fire.
Yeah, the local TV to the national TV, and then it goes to the entertainment world, and then it went international.
Pete's dream was to reach Bill Gates.
He did it. And he's a kid that is very determined and very goal-oriented.
$220 million raised for ALS, trials underway for more than 100 potential therapies, none of it soon enough for Pete. With his daughter Lucy and wife Julie, 2 years ago, he could only use his eyes to communicate.
The thing I always tell people is to Google 3 little letters, ALS. Learn how much it can devastate the mind, body, and soul.
He was a noble fighter, his family said today, who inspired us all. Kate Snow, NBC News.
The Ice Bucket Challenge caught on in August of 2014. It has resulted in better access to ALS care, genetic discoveries, treatments, and the hope for a cure. The U.S. Treasury is holding billions of dollars in unclaimed cash. The plan to put some of it back into your pocket. And the new Star Wars movie comes with a warning. Why Disney says it could trigger seizures. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gordon Lesh.
And I'm Catherine Amenta.
At Channel 11 Morning News, we help you prepare for the day ahead.
Definitely the heavy rain gear today with temperatures.
Heavier delays for the inbound morning commute.
We expanded our breaking news team to better cover news happening right now and give you new information throughout the morning.
Let's get right to Jennifer Tomazik live at the breaking news desk.
A huge impact on the area. In fact, we just found out.
Don't miss anything happening in the morning. Watch Channel 11 Morning News. We're on from 4.
followed by NBC Nightly News at 6:30.
Billions of dollars are sitting unclaimed at the U.S. Treasury. About $26 billion in savings bonds have matured, but were never redeemed. A bipartisan plan in Washington, D.C. would require the Treasury to transfer the bonds to states so they could be cashed in. Pennsylvania has an estimated $840 million in unclaimed bonds.
The federal government doesn't have a process to go out and seek individuals to return their money. State treasurers do.
The Treasury says it's developing an online tool so states can promote unclaimed property programs. Jeanette is revamping its junior firefighter program and looking for teens to join their ranks. According to the Trib, the program accepts teens ages 14 through 17. Junior firefighters can learn the ropes and become senior firefighters once they graduate from high school. Applications are available at the fire department and clerk's office. Santa Claus was kicked out of a park in Johnstown. It seems he didn't have a permit. Patrick Kringle did not have a special vendor's permit, so he was asked to leave Central Park.
Well, we had kids coming up to us all evening, having free photos, getting the candy canes. Everybody was enjoying it.
City leaders say this was a major misunderstanding. People can dress like Santa if they're not selling anything. The city says the person who asked Kringle to leave was not with the city and didn't have the authority to kick him out. New hope for people with heart failure. Our researchers say a diabetes drug could do double duty.
And after the rain yesterday, a little bit of a break in the days ahead before more rain arrives for the end of the week. I'm timing it out for you. I'll see you back here at 12:47.
When news is happening near you, Channel 11 is there.
Aliquippa, Coraopolis, Moon. We cover news everywhere you live.
That's what makes Channel 11 News different.
We're in McCandless, Cranberry, Butler. For news from where you live,
watch Channel.
News 11 at 11. Accurate details, experienced coverage, trusted weather source.
I'm tracking a strong storm moving into Greensburg.
All in the first 11 minutes of our newscast. Count on Channel 11 News 11 at 11 tonight. Make sure you know everything happening in the morning. Watch Channel 11 Morning News.
Disney is issuing a warning about the next Star Wars movie. They say The Rise of Skywalker could trigger seizures. Disney says several scenes include imagery and sustained flashing lights. The Epilepsy Foundation says flashing lights can trigger seizures in about 3% of people with epilepsy. The movie hits the big screen next week. We could find out very soon if a drug used to treat diabetes would be approved for double duty. Right now, the FDA is deciding whether it can be used to help people with heart failure. Channel 11's Jennifer Tomazik talked to one of those patients who was part of the study.
I haven't seen you in a while.
I know it's been a while.
Yeah.
This doctor and patient haven't needed to catch up as much lately because Lisa McKenzie has been feeling a lot better.
I noticed that I didn't have any problems breathing. I was just everything, my walking, everything worked like magic.
Lisa was part of an international trial to see if a medication typically given to those with type 2 diabetes could help patients with heart failure. The drug is called Farxiga.
Originally, it was only showing that patients who are diabetics who happen to have heart failure got better. But now we know patients who have heart failure who happen to have diabetes or not will benefit from it.
Dr. Manpreet Kanwar of Allegheny Health Network enrolled 22 of her cardiac patients in this study. The results just came out in September.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This drug showed that it made their symptoms better, and they allowed them a better quality of life.
Lisa was on the verge of needing a heart transplant, but she made lifestyle changes and got off the list before she became a candidate for the Farxiga trial.
I felt like my heart was like just dangling or whatever, you know what I mean? I don't know if it mended it back together or exactly how it worked, but it's awesome. It's awesome.
Now the FDA is on a fast track to approve Farxiga to reduce the risk of cardiovascular death or the worsening of heart failure in patients with or without diabetes.
I think it will be a great positive change because it's another choice we never had before.
Jennifer Tomazik, Channel 11 News.
Breaking news, Vice President Mike Pence is in Western Pennsylvania. He just visited the King's Family Restaurant in Monaca. Channel 11's Aaron Martin is live there, where the Vice President just made a surprise stop. Aaron.
And Gordon, it was definitely an eventful morning here in Beaver County. In fact, the Vice President just stopped here at the King's Family Restaurant here on Route 18 to meet with some customers. This, of course, came after he was speaking to veterans a little bit earlier today in Rochester. But I want to show you some video from inside. He was shaking hands, talking to folks about issues that really matter to them. The Vice President told us that that was what he really wanted to focus on, what was important to voters here in Western Pennsylvania. Keep in mind, this is going to be a major battleground state, one that went to Trump and Pence back in 2016, and one that they believe could be critical to their re-election efforts in 2020. Now, the Vice President was here earlier, as I mentioned, speaking to those veterans of the VFW in Rochester. There, he gave a message of unity, speaking about how important they were and how important they are to the effort, not only in the election, but also in protecting all of us. Take a listen.
You made a difference in ensuring the ongoing vitality of the greatest nation in the history of the world. You served. And I thank you for your service.
Now, after that speech, we actually had a chance to go on to the Trump-Pence campaign bus and speak one-on-one with the Vice President today. We touched on a lot of topics, including the importance of Western Pennsylvania, as well as the possibility of him, whether he would be on the ticket coming up in 2020. Here, our exclusive interview only on Channel 11 News tonight, starting at 5 o'clock. For now, we're live in Beaver County. Aaron Martin, Channel 11 News.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
It is cloudy out there today, isn't it? If you've been outside, you've felt a big change to the air as well. The colder air has moved in and the winds have been gusty. Here is Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. We're dry in Pittsburgh, Butler, Katanning, but we are still seeing a little bit of rain and even mixed with snow at times, it looks like, here in the ridges of Westmoreland, Indiana, and down through Fayette counties. Also want to point out here around Greene County, looks like the radar is detecting a little bit of light snow and or a wintry mix, so we're going to continue to track this. Best chance for any of the rain snow mix happening will be across our south and eastern communities for the day today, and that's Greene, Fayette, Westmoreland counties, and possibly up through Indiana County. That shows up here on Storm Tracker at 1:30 in the afternoon and 3 o'clock as well. Not looking at any really heavy snow accumulation by any means, but a very light snow amount. Coating is possible, the highest elevations of the ridge tops there. For the rest of us, it's just cloudy and cold, and we'll decrease the clouds overnight tonight with 20 degrees for the area low. Winds 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the west-southwest. So those gusty winds will come down, but it'll happen late tonight, I think, during the overnight for the most part. And when you're out the door in Butler, it's 19, so you'll need the big winter coat for sure. 22 in Indiana tonight, 20 down in Washington. Tomorrow, the sunglasses in order. We'll have some sunshine, few clouds out there, and the temperature only near freezing. So while the sun will feel nice, it will definitely still be cold. The winds will be strong. I showed you that wind forecast in the last half hour. The winds west-southwest about 10 to 20, gusting as high as 25 miles per hour. High temperatures across the rest of the area tomorrow. Beaver 31, Washington 33, Uniontown the same, and Indiana about 31 degrees. Here's another check of the wind chill forecast for the afternoon tomorrow. Again, factoring in the breezy conditions to the air temperature. It'll feel like the teens to low 20s across the area at 4:30 in the afternoon. So if you're walking to and from your car, of course, yes, we need the layers tomorrow. And here's a look at our month-to-date rainfall. Wanted to catch you up to date on this because if you missed it, we broke a daily rainfall record on Monday. Our month-to-date rainfall now stands at a little more than 1.5 inches of rain. The average is just under 1 inch. So you can see we're now above average for the month of December. Our year-to-date rainfall is still well above average. This is how much we've had, a little more than 50 inches. So we are more than 14 inches above average on rainfall, and that does include some snow melt as well. Our next weather system will come in as we head into late Friday. We're going to start to see some rain come all the way up here into western PA, and that's going to be off of this low pressure system that's actually going to be developing down to the south and then kind of slide up through the mid-Atlantic, kind of hugging the coast of the New England states here and the Northeast as it continues to move northeast. So rain for our area as soon as Friday evening, it appears right now, and then that goes into the weekend as well. As we take a closer look here at your 5-day forecast, 32 on Wednesday, down to 17 Wednesday night, 36 on Thursday, 44 for Friday, and warming things up as well into the weekend. At least Saturday is 47, but as that rain comes through and the colder air comes through, 41 for the high on Sunday, and we'll have a chance for rain mixing with snow.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Well, it's a hazard of winter that most homeowners probably don't give much thought to. That is until it comes crashing down onto your home or other personal property. NBC's Chris Clackham has more on what's being dubbed zombie trees.
Yes, Halloween's long gone, but there still may be even scarier zombies lurking around your yard.
A zombie tree, in my understanding of zombies, can be hollow in the center, but it still looks alive. It may even look beautiful.
But that beauty can be particularly hazardous during the months of winter when the weight of snow, ice, freezing rain, as well as howling winds can easily bring an already weakened zombie tree crashing to the ground.
It's lurking. It's waiting for the opportunity to fail.
Patrick George runs a tree care company and says winter's the most stressful season for all trees, so a pruning party might be in order.
Doesn't have dead limbs in it. Are those limbs big enough to change my day or change my life? Then I want to do something about it.
And now's the time to do something to preserve the tree's life and maybe yours. Chris Clackham, NBC News.
Sheetz has been added the plant-based Beyond Burger to its menu. The burger is available at all Sheetz locations. The county says it's being introduced as part of a new partnership with Beyond Meat. Sheetz says they are the first convenience chain in the continental U.S. to introduce the burger. It'll cost you about $7 depending on toppings and location. Probably noticed gas prices have stayed high even after Thanksgiving, and prices at the pump in Pittsburgh are higher than the state average. Across the country, the average is $2.57 a gallon. In Pennsylvania, it's $2.76. In the Pittsburgh area, the average is $2.83. AAA expects gas prices to drop as we near the new year. A local man named the state's Teacher of the Year. His inspiration to be the best he can be.
Hey, Pittsburgh. Everyone loves a great deal, right? Well, I have the best ones just for you. Don't miss out. Just text WPXI to 65,000 now.
Breaking News Desk is really an invaluable tool.
You're going to get breaking news as it's happening.
You can be assured that everything I tell you is something that's important that's going to impact your day.
We have an anchor now dedicated to following the latest information as it comes in.
I know the neighborhoods, I know the school districts, and that really helps to inform you so that you know if something is going to impact your family.
As soon as she gets that information, the Breaking News Desk is able to go on air, bring that information to you and share it.
That is a resource no one else has. If you see me on the Breaking News Desk, you
Judge Judy.
Wildwood Highlands has shut down after more than 30 years in business. The entertainment center in Hampton closed yesterday. The Sports Dome, indoor arena, and outdoor field are staying open under new leadership. It will be known as the North Park Sports Complex. If you have gift cards or event tickets, you may still be able to get a refund or credit to be used at the sports complex. Point Park University has a new sports team on campus, and they're offering scholarships. The esports program will start competing in the next school year. Students will compete in video games, including Fortnite, Madden, and League of Legends. This is the 18th varsity sports team at Point Park, and scholarships will be available. Robert Morse also has an esports team. A local middle school teacher has been named the state's Teacher of the Year. Joseph Welch, an American history teacher at North Hills Middle School, was honored today during a ceremony in Harrisburg. He was one of 12 finalists. Nominations were submitted by students, parents, and peers to recognize achievements both inside and out of the classroom.
I think, as a parent, I think all the time of what type of teacher would I want for my own child. You know, I want a teacher that cares about my child, not just as a student, but as a person.
As Pennsylvania's Teacher of the Year, Welch will travel the state and collaborate with other educators. He will represent Pennsylvania in next year's National Teacher of the Year competition. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
I like people to be honest, not stupid.
Nobody brings the truth to life.
Is that what you want me to believe?
Nobody can read between the lies.
I'm 5'9", and I have a body like Christy Brinkley. Do you believe that?
Like Judge Judy.
She's an 18-year-old girl. She got a settlement. You saw a little money. You wanted a big red truck. Shiny, shiny, shiny red truck. I still love this job.
Judge Judy, weekdays at 4 and 4:30 on Channel 11.